Hey, welcome to the Fortress of Sound. I'm Carl. Today we're going to be making a really sick patch in the new Air plugin called OPx4 for the MPC platform. So first thing you need to do is get the floppy disk that I should have sent you in the mail and install it in your MPC. I'm just playing. What you need to really do is go into Menu, Preferences, Activate Plugins, and there you'll see the OPx4. And crap, I only have 2 days left. Now let's create something that is just completely insane and just throw everything we can at it and make it sort of just like an ethereal cavern, sort of cavernous forest, living under elves living under a tree, hanging out, casting spells, feeding squirrels, something. The trick for detuning on this one is just very, very small decimal amounts. You can hear even 0.02 is sort of getting a little bit too much of a beating sound against each other. About 0.01 seems about nice. Let's see that 72. Yeah. Now, in this kind of form, really what we are doing is additive synthesis, just bringing one operator and another. So really this could be treated as like a 4 oscillator subtractive synth if you wanted to. By bringing up the PW, the pulse width, I guess you get these almost saw waves somewhere around 20, you know. So pretty cool. Let's bring up all 4. Let's put this at 0.99. 0.99. Put this at 1.0. Let's try 1.5 on this one. Even ratios in FM help a lot. Keep everything the same, sort of really slow. Definitely sounding ambient and pretty nice and fuzzy. Let's make them all saw waves. So it's something around 20-ish, sounds like. Maybe we could even mess with the formants. The formants, I think, are ripe for sort of like a LFO modulation sort of thing. Let's do that. Let's add LFO 1 to the formants of 3 and 4. Alright. So let's see where we're at. Formants of 2, 3. LFO 1 to the formant of 4. Be careful of that. I think this is begging to have 2 separate oscillators running these. Not that fast. What's that, 1? So it's just bouncing around off each other sort of thing. Now the trick here, another thing to note is the buses. How these sort of buses work is bus 1 goes to filter 1 to effects 1, and bus 2 goes, it seems like bus 2 goes to filter 2 and bus 3 goes to filter 2, so they sort of share like a filter and effects. So I want to keep 3 and 4 as isolated as possible from the rest of it. So, because what I want to do is filter them differently and affect them differently here. Slower still. LFO 1 is just going a bit too quick for me. We're doing all this without really doing anything with the FM part of it. This is all almost an additive process. That sounded pretty cool to me so far. But why don't we start using some of the FM? This one at 1.5 will sound pretty good modulating other ones because it's got that higher ratio, so just a little bit goes a long way on that. I get a little bit of buzz there. I like it, I like it, I like it. Ooh, yeah. That's nasty sounding. That sounded brutal. I like it. And we haven't even used effects. It really doesn't... Well, we used an ensemble, but it really sounds like there's already reverbs and delays happening, but there's nothing there. It's just so much space already created within this thing. Another thing that really works with these buses, like I said earlier, is the filter. So, let's see. So this one should be using filter 1. I think we have to use filter 2, actually. Yeah. So, filter 2 is they're shared between each other, which is a bit fiddly. Now I can filter in this wow that comes in every once in a while with yet another thing. And what I want to do is, might as well just use all the stuff this thing has. Envelope 5, right? So, let's switch to the MPC screen to see that. The envelope 5. And what I want to do is make this looping. Now, what I did was set that envelope to loop. It'll go, and then it'll loop that over and over again. Now, this is somewhat tricky to use. I usually, seems like you have to use tempo sync to make it loop. Tempo sync 5, to make it loop at a speed that you're liking. It's not based off of the attack and release. But let's switch back to see. You can see here that envelope is yeah, like that. So what I want to do is put that on the cutoff, the filter cutoff too. So not only are these two things beating independently off each other, but envelope 5 is now creating this other filtering effect on it, which is nice. But really, that bus is just begging for a delay, man, really. It just needs to be washed out into a delay. So that's going into FX2. Right? FX2 or FX3, I guess. I think what we'll do is bring these up here. It's tricky because they're shared, sort of. I guess effects are not shared. That envelope a little slower. auto sync. I also sort of want this to be more gradual. Because this is the OPx4, let's add a sample layer because we can, and I think it needs it. This is not quite foresty and ethereal. It's turned into something more sinister. I like it still though. That's how it goes sometimes. Now, Pipe's breath will sound great, I think, and we're gonna send that into submix 3, right? That's what we want. Yeah, that's our delay. That sounds pretty nice. So submix 3 does not go through the filter. So ooh, yeah. Submix 3, yes, does not go through the filter. It just goes right through. So we got most of that sample layer going through that. Now, this is kind of droney, yeah. Something's got to be done because that sample layer is just cutting right through, right to the amplifier, the final VCA. We need to rein that in, and well, luckily we have yet another envelope to do that. So that's envelope 6, and it's still not even being used. We could easily use one of the other ones, like to tie it together, but I want to give it its own thing. So where in the world in this gigantic list would that be? Sample volume, velocity. Crazy amount of stuff here. I'm not seeing it. I want the sample submix amount, but or level, sample level. Where is that? Can we do this? Does it exist? Sample mix. There we go. Sample level. So it's, as it stands, it sort of just comes right in. But let's get back to the MPC screen to see our envelope a little better here. Envelope 6 we're going to use to bring that in much slower. Also, we do need to bring it down here. We're going to be using this. There we go. Sounds really cool. All right. Sounds pretty nice. I like how it sort of just cuts off there. Another thing I want to do is give it like a slight vibrato to the sample. So back into the modulation matrix. That's the real key to this thing, man. This is insanity here. This is, I get real like Oberheim expander vibes from this thing. That's like an old, not super old, but you know, it's like one of the most expandable, self-contained synthesizers I think ever made, probably. At least in the old style analog days, say the Nord modular. Once you get into modular, it's a different ball game. But so I wanna, let's see. One thing that's sort of a bummer is 2 LFOs. Man, this thing is like begging for 4 of them or something, I'd say. But let's use 2. Let's use 2 to do the sample fine tune. Really subtle. Yeah, the thing with the samples is they sort of don't change pitch in real time. It's like you only hear the change when you re-trigger the key again, which is unfortunate. But maybe there's a way around that. I'm not super sure how that would be done. So in a way, I just want to keep that as fine-tuned, and that's sort of just gonna make every time you play a key be slightly different. And really, when you're doing that, and then you have a delay, that's gonna create a lot of beating, cool dissonance. Now, exactly sure. Can the envelopes be disabled from the keys? I don't know if they can be, actually. You can see them re-trigger upon key press, so I don't think they can be. That'd be cool too, because then you could really use them all as an LFO, I guess, essentially. It doesn't appear that they can be removed from that. I'm not sure. Envelope scale is fun, yeah. But this thing is sounding good. It sounded just getting to that ethereal wisps hanging out under a tree vibe a little bit, like maybe evil wisps or something. But what it's missing is sort of like a high, really, really high twinkling in a way. Now, how would I do that here? What would you suggest I do? Well, one thing I would do, since we're kind of using all of these, right? You can hear. So, what? So, let's say what we can do is maybe modulate a macro that is running the ratio of, I think, 2. Let's try it. Yeah. First we really have to set what are the macros doing, right? Which how I think random, we've got this random here, which is probably some kind of noise generator inside. So we're gonna send random to the macro. No, that's not, it's random per note press. Okay. I think what we're gonna do is send, it'll sort of, something that will sort of hit it with a really high-pitched kind of like twinkle almost, and then come back out. So then the LFO can do its normal thing. And it would have to be going through that delay as well to keep it rolling. So really what we need to do is have LFO2, hit the LFO2 with a real quick random. So I think, and that would also have to be sent to the ratio of like operator 3. So operator 3, sorry, it's just sort of I like it. You can just keep rolling. Alright, that's a lot. Sorry. Okay. So what's gonna happen, I think, is this has to be almost none, right? LFO2 is doing that, but we need something else, a ramp. We're gonna use one of these ramps. That's gonna come in. It's going to tell LFO2, quick, go way faster. Also, you're going to change your waveform. I think you can do. So LFO2 speed. See, the ramp will now affect LFO2 speed. And the ramp 1, time. Global. Ramp 2 now, and that's gonna say LFO2 quick. This is the amount you're gonna go. So really, it's gonna be modulation matrix 6 amount, which is getting pretty hairy in the weeds here. So ramp 2 is gonna come in, and these always seem to reset on key press as well. Yeah. Really wish you could untether that. I'm not sure. Not quite what I was intending to do, but it's somewhat cool. It's just a little bit too much. That's interesting there. You got these shapers, the LFO shapers, which you can then bring in and quantize almost. Like an additional thing on top of a thing. It's insanity. It really is. I sort of still wrap my head around what's happening like half the time with these square root ones. I think really what we would need to do is use like an envelope. So I think I'm gonna nuke all this stuff here actually. I think what I want to do instead is just let's bring in let's sacrifice. We got to sacrifice something here. And bring in, I think 2 could be used as the twinkle. Right, so I think I'm just gonna nuke that stuff there. It sounded cool, but it was not what I'm trying to do. So, let's sacrifice 2, man. It's gotta happen, sadly. It's gonna be really high. We're gonna be up at like 15. Let's try 36. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is, because now the envelope of 2 doesn't really matter as much, we're gonna make that loop really quickly. Kind of give it a sort of obtuse shape to it. Now, the looping speed seems to be, I'm really not sure where it's getting that timing, because it's not based on this or that. That's somewhat odd, right? But if I seem like it, I really want it to be like fast. I'm not really sure how to make this go faster. That's sort of getting to where I want. What is the speed? Yeah, it's tethered. It's definitely tethered to the BPM of your project. Sorry, I didn't realize that was like moved. Well, I'm sort of not sure. There we go. Doesn't seem like 5 to me. Oh, there we go. Okay. What we're gonna have to do then is some sort of modulation trickery here to make this twinkle, right? We really would... Man, could we use another LFO right now? What can we do? I don't think you can modulate the LFO shape. Doesn't appear to be in this list, surprisingly. Do sort of like what we did, but we're gonna have LFO2 go to a ratio of 2. Sort of doing something. So I think what's really going on here is I've sort of hit a wall in one of the aspects. You can do it, man, but it would be a little bit of a tricky kind of thing to do. But I think what I'm going to do instead is send this think that's sort of getting there. Really what I wanted was like a twinkle that was like quick and then sort of went back down, and the LFO could do its normal breathing in and out kind of motion. But it doesn't do it on its own. You have to sort of play the key every time. It's still cool. It's still good. So I'm gonna call this patch Nightmare Wisps. And if you want this patch, also see the link in the description below. Well, I think that sounds pretty good. If you want this patch for your plugin, you can download it in the description box below. All I ask is you give me a like and a subscribe, because the algorithms need to be kinder to me. Take care now.